guys, this is Mira. I just wanted to say big up to all my Patreons and all my subscribers on YouTube. Basically in this video I'm going to be making a full sketch. So normally you see me doing like sound design things, and not often you see this kind of video, so it's a bit longer. I hope you get something from it. Let me know in the comments what you think about this, and yeah, let's get to it. Okay guys, so I'm going to start out with the vocoder dub chord technique. It's one of my favorite ways to make dub chords in Ableton Live. So there's many different ways to make dub chords in Ableton, ranging from audio effects. You can make a dub chord just using an audio effects and no sampler or synth. And then you have the instruments. So you have wavetable synths, FM synths, subtractive synths, and also things like tension, which I don't know what you call this, but you can definitely do really good dub chords with it. But in this instance, I'm going to use vocoder. Like, you can use things like spectral resonator, resonators, and I think a couple of other things to do dub chords just with effects, but vocoder's what I'm going for here, right? So the first thing with the vocoder is you need to feed it a signal, right? It could be a voice. Usually you would send a vocal to a vocoder, but right now I just want a signal which is fairly full of frequencies, so I'm going for a 909 snare, right? And by the way guys, I just wanted to tell you you can download this live set when it's done, and also see a whole bunch of exclusive content like track breakdowns, track studies, samples, exclusive content, so much more. If you love dub techno, head over to my Patreon. I'll link it right here and down in the comments. Shouts to all my Patreons and all the subscribers. Right, so we have a vocoder, right? And there's a snare getting sent to it. Next, what we need to do is send it a sound, right? I'm going to send it like a minor triad chord via wavetable, right? So what I'm going to do is just choose, like, say, A minor. And that is a minor triad chord, okay? And I'm just going to loop that. And let's take a listen. I'm then going to turn the volume down to 0 and go back to our vocoder track. And here where it says carrier, I'm going to set it to external and wavetable. And let's just turn the levels down because we're kind of clipping a little bit. Always watch your gain staging. So I'm going to try pitching wavetable down an octave. Pretty cool. And when it really comes to life is when you bump up the release. And the next tip I give is you want to play with the format. To modulate that, what I'm going to do is grab a Max for Live device, which is by a guy called Elephant. It's a free device called Steps. Go check that out. You'll be able to find it. And it's a step modulator, and I'm going to map that to the format here. And let's have a look at the range. I'm just going to turn the depth down. And then play with the range here. Smooth it a bit. Let's try a different rate. Dotted. change the amount of steps down to like 7. That's sounding pretty cool. Another cool thing to do is play with the bands, right? Set it to like, say 8 bands. You get a different sound. And then you can play around. You can definitely get a different vibe from it like that. Maybe play with the attack. You can play with this retro setting. Play with the range. Pretty cool. Next up, what I'll do is actually put some reverb on here. Let's just go for a large hall. Pretty cool. Have another look at wavetable here, because this is our signal, right? If we play around with this, we get another source of modulation. I quite like playing with the filter there. Let's go into the matrix and map a LFO to the filter frequency. Turn retrigger off. Pretty cool. Let's try giving it some unison. That could be cool. What I'm going to do is try delay. Give it some filter mod on the delay. Put this before the reverb. And I'm going to put a limiter on here to reduce the dynamic range. We could also play around with the source here, and maybe duplicate it and use a different instrument as the source here. what I'm going to do is make a kick. Actually, yeah, let's keep processing this dub chord. What about some auto pan? Could be cool. Just like to have a small amount and a slow rate and a small amount. Have another look at wavetable. Could go for an actual wavetable waveform. Let's try complex. Yeah, I quite like that. I'm just going to put an envelope on the wavetable position there. So envelope to, I will map to the oscillator 1 position, okay. That's not going to work actually. Yeah, I'm going to use an envelope instead because I want like a smooth fade, and because the notes are re-triggering, we're not getting that. So LFO2, right? Turn re-trigger off and sync it to like 1 bar. That's cool. Get an EQ on the dub chords here. A really good way to add some bit crushing, right? I might actually just go for Redux. Let's try that. We go for some overdrive distortion. That's okay. But yeah, to the kick drum, right? I like to use the DS kick, right? At the moment, I kind of enjoy making it, making kicks with this. And immediately, what I'm going to do is just have quite a short decay. Not much envelope. It's more like a sine wave kind of blip. And just pick a range. Yeah, that could work. And I'm going to sidechain the dub chords to kick straight away. And I'm just going to get an EQ on the kick, roll out any high end. Just want that low end coming through. In my opinion, most of the ambient dub techno I make, it's just, you just want that that bump. It's bumping into the like later on we have some compression on the master, and all that powerful sub in the kicks is going to bump into that, create almost the illusion of their kick being there, right? I can do some bass right now, but I think it'd be cool to do like another dub chord maybe. Maybe let me have a think. Do let's have a look at the sequence for the dub chords. Also for this wavetable, create a bit of variation. We almost need like a bit more low end for this dub chord. It's too high up, as it were. I might actually just create another track and just use like operator, copy the notes, right? So what we got is what we want is A minor. I think that'll work. Let's take a listen. Let's make a dub chord, basically, but with operator, and we're going to filter out the high end on this. Put some reverb on here. Spread. maybe some OTT. Get an EQ on here. Actually going to turn the spread off, make it more mono. Put an EQ on here. Let's roll off the highs. Yeah, it's kind of filling in that low end. Let's roll some of the lows off too. Have another look at this delay here. Try ping pong. Pretty cool. What I'm going to do is I'm going to group the two dub chords together, like a top and a lower layer, right? And I want to have like kind of a noise injection there, but I want the noise to kind of move around in like a polymeter fashion to the kick, right? So a lot of the time in my compositions, what I have is very, very, very minimal composition, right? But I have certain elements which are pushing and pulling against each other. So although there's hardly anything going on, if for some reason it's interesting, it keeps your focus almost into like a trance state. And one of the good ways to do that is the hybrid reverb, right? So I've got the dub chords on a track here, and you may have seen my last YouTube video where I went into this technique, but I'll do it again right here. So let's just set it to 100% now, and we want the tides algorithm, right? We don't want any convolution. We want old, right? And the key is we want to go into the reverb really quiet. So I'm going to put a utility. I think we could just use the send. But anyway, I'm just going to put a utility before the reverb. Turn down the signal going into it, but let's duplicate that, put one afterwards, and boost it, right? You hear all that lovely noise? Like via that gain staging trick, we've just really emphasized the noise section of the reverb. Now don't worry, we're going to do some cool stuff with this right now. So what I'm going to do is just have it kind of short. Turn the damping off, basically. Turn the modulation up. And have the phase go up a bit. And let's play with the rate. So that's like your, it's kind of like a bit crush layer which moves around the stereo field. When we introduce the offbeat techno hi-hat, like white noise split in a minute, this noise will work and push and pull against that steady rhythm, right? So to set the tempo here. Yeah, I like it about there. Play with the size. So as this is like a kind of like a primer reverb, I want a really short decay, right? And let's just turn the mix down. Round about there, right? Later on we can modulate the decay. bypass all of that. Let's see. So kind of subtle, but also real big difference, I find. So anyway, I just want to take the side chain, put it on the group here instead, alright? I don't know why I'm playing with the levels. I shouldn't really bother with that right now. Maybe that's a bit better. So yeah, to the hi-hat, right? I just use operator. We'll just go for like a maraca sample in the kit core library in the samples here. I'm gonna go for a shaker. I'll go for this shaker Iron Man. Try that. What I'm gonna do is just actually just mute the kick, take a listen to that shaker, just balance the levels of these dub chords with that shaker. I reckon about there. Yeah. And what I'm going to do is actually I want a drum rack rather than just I want to have like a rim shot and a shaker. So let's just drop a drum rack on here. I'll grab that shaker. Let's maybe try a different sample.
this very subtle thing might be better. About there. Bring the kick back in. Oh, sorry. The kick. Yeah, playing around with the levels, don't get lost in that. Not a good idea, really, so early on. Let's find a rim. This is the one I usually use. So I just keep using the way I usually use. And just do a very simple sequence here. We need some bass, but let me just get round to that in a moment. We also need more noise. So yeah, getting a bit lost in the process here, but what I want to do is have a reverb, which I'm going to send these couple of elements to here, this rim and this shaker. I'll just do it on a send here. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do it in the drum rack because then I can specify, like, I get more room for like exactly how I want it. I don't want to drop that in there. What I want is in there. Have a look at the sends. So we have a reverb, right? What I like to do, again, back to the point where I said like you have very minimal composition, but the tune would be really boring if it wasn't for like these subtle kind of subconscious things moving about, right? So you can just have a tune that basically writes itself, and you don't have to do much like sequencing and stuff. You just you make your bed and then you sequence it out in a way, kind of like Lazy Man's dub techno, I guess. But what I'm really interested in is just having like a Zen groove where it's everything's already there, and it's not hypnotic, but it's hypnotic, but in a way you don't understand. Like, so yeah, the technique, right? And I think it's a common technique. Phaser or flanger on your reverb send, right? And really slow phase speed, right? There you are. Let's turn the and then just have it very subtly there. Yeah, so bass, right? Do I want to get into the bass now? No, what I'm going to do is add another noise layer. I want lots of, I'm introducing like a few different noise elements in the hope what they're going to push and pull against each other and just create this kind of almost disorientating effect. And can I say almost like mystical feel? Just having like as if the tune was covered in mist and like so what I'm gonna do is literally get a sample of a storm. So I'm gonna go into Sounds of a Forgotten World 2, which was a sample pack I made last year. And it's full of field recordings and dub techno sound, dub chords, other temple percussion and stuff, which was all recorded and made here in Lao. Yeah, so a lot of interesting stuff. I'll link the sample pack right here and down in the comments. So what we want is there's a sample in here called Storm. I could use any kind of noisy sample, but for some reason I like to use this. I'll put in a MIDI track there and just drop it in there in a simpler, hit loop. And let's just loop a bit of it. Have some fade. And that's it. And then I'll just put in like a fairly long sustained loop, maybe with an odd time like this. Oh, what's going on here? Okay. Too loud, alright. So we have another noise layer there. I'm just gonna EQ out the low end on it. So this EQing part is quite important. I'm gonna get rid of all that rumble. Now we're working in the key of A, right? Let's just double check. Yeah, so we're in A minor here, right? We've got A minor triad chords, right? What I'm going to do is go to our field recording here and have a look on the EQ, right? And just boost the frequency where A is sitting in the most audible range. So if you see down the bottom left there, right there, okay? Now it's too loud, right? So quite simply just turn it down. And that will somehow make the field recording feel like it sits in time with the rest of the tune, alright? Now I'd like to have some movement on that sound. I'm actually gonna map an LFO to let's just put a utility on here. I'll map it to the volume on the utility, right? And I'm gonna set it to like 16th note. Seems pretty fast, right? let's turn the depth down. I'm going to set the shape to random. And then hit some smooth, like smooth out a little bit. And it should shuffle around with the beat in a nice way. Let's see. Too much depth. There you are. Another thing you could do is sidechain this to the kick. So it's barely audible, right? But if I mute it, the tune sounds empty. So it's really filling out. Like I said, you've got that steady pulse of the offbeat hi-hat, right? And all the white noise elements are bouncing off of that in a strange way. Let's have a look at that reverb. Yeah. Alright, so let's move on to the next thing. I'm kind of putting the bass off because, if I'm honest with you guys, bass can take a lot of tweaking. Let's just dive right into it. So yeah, I'm just going to keep it simple with operator and just use a sine wave. I'm not going to go into the science of bass in electronic music. What I'd say is with dub techno is just keep fairly simple sequence which just works with the kick. In this instance, I'm just going to drop an A minor, give us a loop like this. Let's set the... Yeah, so we got a couple notes here. Let's take a listen to that. Literally, let's just pitch that down. Let's turn it up. Kind of works, right? What could I do with the bass here? So I definitely sidechain it to the kick a little bit. I'll just copy the sidechain from the dub chords. And what I'll do is I'll just look on the analyzer here, so that just to check the fundamental of the kick isn't clashing with the fundamental of the bass. Now it is. So what I'm going to do is pitch the kick down. The advantage of DS kick is simple, right? Let's have a look. Alright, now we can see the bass has its own range. Let's have a look at the note length. I'd say play with the amp envelope a little bit. At this point, I'm just going to leave the kick and add my next noise source. Okay. Okay, yeah. On to the next noise source. So we got 3 basic noise sources, right? We've got the hybrid reverb doing its weird thing. Got this field recording. And next up we've got some tape. A tape emulator on the master bus. So we got the Chow DSP, which is a free effect, right? Really highly recommend this plugin. You can go in deep with it or just use a preset. One of the presets I like to use is Warehouse 1997, right? Let's try that. You see it adds a bunch of tape hiss, right? Also, it's filtered out some of the high end. It's added tape saturation, compression. That's what happens if you bump the bass. Really nice, really crunches it up in a nice way. But I'm not going to go into this plugin right now. What I'm going to do is just go to the degrade section and just reduce the amount of hiss. So this is the degrade section. And I'm just going to roll down the depth here and the amount. So it's barely audible. Now we have, what I love the sound is that kind of stone, lazy sound of tape. And this plugin does it for me, I like it. So yeah, I'm going to leave it at that for now, guys. I'm not going to sequence out the track because I might get bored, like literally, I don't know what I'd do. If I modulate a couple of things, probably, such as like the decay on this reverb here. You know, you got loads of opportunities for modulation. I might do that in the next video. Even let me know in the comments if you'd like to see me turn this into like a full, sequence track. So anyway, I'll upload this set onto my Patreon now for you guys to go check out, and I'll put a link for that right here and down in the comments. I hope you found it useful, and once again, big up to everybody commenting on YouTube and on the Patreon, and let's keep this dub techno fire burning. Alright guys, I love you all. Let's see you next time. Peace.